everyone, welcome back to another video. Newer is an Arabian rescue horse that I am training. This was my first time putting the saddle pad and surcingle on her. I also wanted to mention, if you've seen my previous videos, I was basically showing the entire session, but in order to save time and show more videos, I am going to just be showing more of the before and afters and highlights instead of the whole entire process. So after getting her warmed up, I put on the saddle pad and surcingle, and I just ask her to walk with it, and you can see she's a little bit tense and unsure. I asked her to do a yield here, and she's just really not wanting to cross over, which tells me she's pretty tense. We did get a better step here though. So as you can see here, I would ask her to trot, and she just would kind of do a little swift halt or stop every time I asked, and that is just because she's unsure and a little bit worried with it up there and feels more uncomfortable moving forward. But I basically continue to do what you see here, just calmly asking her to try again when she spooks, and she made a lot of improvement. You can see here later on in the session, she's just much more calm and comfortable with it and continues to trot much longer. And I always pet her a lot because she really seems to enjoy it. Going the other way, she wasn't quite as confident, but she still didn't plant her feet like she had before, so that was really good, and I ended there. And I found another itchy spot, which you can see her really enjoying. So this is the next day, and I decided to make this just a Liberty session, and you can see her very pretty trot here. And she came straight to me, so that was nice. And I just led her around and worked at some things at Liberty, just trying to really work on our connection together. So I believe I'd done Liberty circles one time before, but it's still pretty new to her, so I decided to work on that some. Just asking at the walk. She tried to come in, but that's okay. And I just try to keep her going in this little circle around me. She kept on pretty nice there, so I let her come in. Then I asked for a hindquarter yield, and you want the inside leg to cross underneath, so I kept asking until she crossed under. I then asked her to trot on the Liberty circle, and she did really well. She was such a quick learner for Liberty. So on this next day, I decided to put the saddle pad and surcingle on her again. And before I did a little exercise of trying to get her to match steps, and she actually did really well with that. You can see her kind of leaning back and forth with my energy. Then I got the saddle pad and rubbed it all over her before I put it on like usual. And then got the surcingle and cinched it up. And I did walk her around quite a bit first, but like I said, I'm trying to cut the unneeded stuff out. So fast forward to asking her to trot, and again, she was pretty nervous with it. This saddle pad is also different, so it probably didn't feel the same. And every time she stopped suddenly, I just very calmly ask her to go again. There's nothing wrong with that. She's just saying she's uncomfortable, and I would much rather her stop than just blow up. So I just try to help her become more comfortable, but not get onto her for stopping. So this is a bit later on, and you can see she's made a lot of improvement. She's trotting much less worried, and I'm pretty happy with that. And this is the other way, and I'm still working on a lot of transitions, trying to get smooth and calm transitions. And she's really sensitive, so she responds pretty fast. You can see how much nicer her trot looks too, not quite so stiff. Nice little hindquarter yield. And I ended here because this was really nice. I am very happy with the improvement she made. So in our next session, I started out doing something a little different, which is just walking next to her shoulder and prepares for when I'm not in front of her. And then I put the bareback pad on for the first time. She liked it much better because it didn't jingle around so much, and she just seemed a lot more comfortable with it. You can see her transitions in trotting was already more relaxed from the start. And like I talked about last time, I'm just working on walk to trot transitions, going back and forth. I really love how relaxed she is in this one. And I randomly just decided to lunge her from standing on top of this little tub, and she did very well with that. And then I decided to prepare for our first sit. To start with, I just kind of leaned over her, but then I moved away and started hopping because that's a better preparation for actually sitting on her. And also that was really sweet. She just started grooming me back when I scratched her back for her. And I began jumping, and she did step away, and I just gently asked her to stay, and I stopped when she lowered her head because that's a good sign of relaxation and at least her trying to relax. And I just stick with her until she stands still, and then I give her a break. And she lowered her head on her own here, and that was really good, so I decided to end there. On the next day, I decided to work on the same thing, just getting her used to me hopping next to her. And every time she shows a good sign of relaxation or just stands still without being bothered, I release. And I know this looks super hilarious, but it's really good desensitization, and here I'm going in front of her, just hopping everywhere to show her that no matter what I do, I'm not going to hurt her and she doesn't have to worry. And that was pretty good because she didn't feel like she had to move anywhere. Then I asked her to flex her neck, which is a really good thing to help her relax her neck. And that was my first time actually kind of hopping a little more against her, and she really wasn't fazed, so I'm super happy about that. Again, that was great. And you can see her enjoying her little itchy spots. She absolutely loves being rubbed. And we're getting some really good jumps here without her really being bothered, and more scratches. And I decided we were ready to move to the mounting block. And I just leaned a little bit and hopped, and this was my first time actually over her. She was a little bit spooked to start with, but she halted and realized it was all okay, and I really praised her. When I jumped on, she kept taking a few steps back, but then stayed still as she realized it wasn't that bad. And we know she was ridden in the past, but I think she had some bad experiences, so she's a little bit worried, but she starts to realize she's still fine, and I'm not going to do anything bad to her. Lots of rubs. She's so sweet. And again, just as I got on, she gets a little spooked and then realizes she's okay. And this was really nice as well because you can see her lower her head here and try to relax. So right after I got off. And here she lowered her head right after, so I slid off right away. Slowly but surely she was getting less and less stressed when I hopped on. And I love this one because she went to step away and then she was like, oh yeah, it's not so bad, and then stood fine until she readjusted herself to balance. So I was really happy with that one and ended there. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye!